Hello and welcome everyone on Strats and Tips episode 10 on Radar, which is the last demo map we're going to cover. I'm your host MythSky and I'm here with my co-caster Robin.
Hey guys, what's up? It's Robin here, and we're gonna go over Radar. And for Radar, we're gonna do everything we did in the last previous 9 episodes, which is going over general strats, nade spots, EU strats, and our F strats, as well as some lovely giveaways.
And don't forget the wallbang spots and a special coming up from you, which you'll hear more about later. So yeah, first of all, we have the map video coming up, but before we do that, I have a short announcement about the giveaways. Since we're using a different option on Moobot, means that you don't have to type the keywords anymore, but that will directly draw a viewer from the with Moobot. So it'll draw viewers instead of people who type the keyword, which will make it easier for you and easier for me since we don't have to wait 4 minutes for the winner to be drawn. Alright, that being said, we'll move on with the map video. I've got it right in front of me. Let me see. There we go. If it wants to work. Yeah, I always get that. YouTube doesn't like to be standing still for like half an hour. Or even more. There we go again.
I feel like I'd fall.
Okay, YouTube does not seem to be working out. That means I'll just go with the map video I have on my PC, which is, well, somewhat easier, but I'll have to see how I get the full screen then. Let me just get it up. There we go. Be somewhat easier if this wants to play. This is fast forward. And now it's not. Okay, it actually fast forwards because of the keys. That's impressive. Alright, enjoy.
Just don't let it go. I started the fight, but now I'm losing. So will I fall again? I'm scared of heights, yet it was me who ran away.
Alright, so that is the map video for this week. There we go. Alright, so we're gonna move on with the general things of the map radar in a bit. Before that, as you could see in the chat, I was talking about a pug that will be hosted tonight. As if I'm correct, there should be some people already spamming it in the in-game lobby to announce it. I will cast the main games, the finals, and if I have time, the semi-finals as well on this channel, so stay tuned for that. My co-caster for this will be Iyan, as Robin will probably have to leave in about an hour. So let's not get any time wasted, and we'll move on with the in-game plays. First of all, the general things about the map radar. There we go. Right, so about radar, as you, well, some may actually not know this map too well, but it was in the match pool some time ago. Haven't played it that much lately. We did play it last night, of course. And we, of course, have some nice paintings here, like, "We don't need your war." It's, of course, a big reference. Alright, so general things. About this map, it's actually quite easy to cover the one side, while it's somewhat easier to take the two side. Taking one is, of course, quite hard when there's a scope all the way back there. But you'll be able to take him down with a nade spot, which follows. You stand on this line, stand directly next to the pillar. You walk up and you see the fence and the cable intersect. This is the aiming mark where you want to throw, and just throw the nade. And as you can see, it lands right where Robbing is standing. You can also jump if you want, but it's not needed. And of course, if you're going here, you have to watch out quite closely for the double doors at base, or from connector 1, since people might be there. And if you want to nade out the spot, you just stand in this corner, and you aim where the box and the wall intersects, and you jump and throw. This will land directly on the side, as you can see, or not. There we go again. Hit the wall there. Now it doesn't, and now it's on site. So if you have a guy who's camping the site from about here, or if you have the C4 set, it's wisely to put it around this area, since you can nade it. But of course, the guys who are defending one can also nade you back, and they have a couple of nades to do that. The first one is standing in this corner. You aim at the... no, wait. You stand in this line, where the wooden boxes and the black boxes intersect. So this line. And then you aim at the top point of this little box. The little box is on top. And jump and throw. And as you can see...
Changing magazine.
So as you can see, they'll land all the way next to the pillar, where a guy may be throwing your first nade. But of course, you would want to have a nade on the stairs once, since that's mostly where the scopes are camping. For that, you stand in this corner, and you look where the box intersects with the long box, which is right over here. Of course, at this line as well. And then jump and throw. And this will land directly on the stairs, just where Robbing is standing. It'll actually land quite far back, so that's good to see. As you can see, it's all the way down the stairs, so if there's a scope like just coming up or on the stairs, he'll most likely go back because he sees a nade, and he'll run directly into it. Alright, so there's one more nade spot from one, and of course if you duck here, you can just go over it. It's quite easy. But if you want to throw a nade at the connector 2, just stand in front of this box, you aim at the top fence of this building, which is there, and then just jump and throw. And as you can see, just where Rob is standing, the nade will land, which is over there. So it may be useful sometimes, but you need to time it quite carefully. Now if you're coming up in mid, you may find the scope camping behind this box in the base. What are you gonna do about that? You're gonna nade him out. You have to stand on the first part of these boxes. You look all the way up at the middle of these boxes, and if you look up, you see like a weird gap in the clouds. This is where you need to aim, and you jump and throw. There we go. And it'll land directly where Rob is standing. It'll bounce back from the wall, so it actually lands right here, and since the scope is usually camping here, you'll be able to take him down from behind the box. Now of course the most known nade from here is just by throwing it over the fence and throw it all the way back at the wall there. You can also throw it back, but those are like basic nade spots, so we won't go over them fairly easily. Well, you'll be able to do them fairly easily, so we won't cover them clearly on the stream. But we do have some more at 2 side. Let's see. I actually forgot to practice this one. You aim at the top right of this red building, and then you'll throw it into the pillar room. I believe you have to stand this far back. No, there's see. You have to stand at the top of the point of the shadow. Now it should be better. There we go. and it lands right where you want to enter the pillar room. Of course, people coming here are gonna smoke it all out of the place, since the guy will be camping at the hard left, which you have naded out before. Let's see, and of course you can throw a nade back as well. Well, we actually... Did we show this one already, Rob?
Actually, no, we haven't, so...
Because I see a nade there. A little confused. Let's show this one first, and then we'll show how to throw it back. First of all, you stand on this yellow line. You stand in the middle... Yellow, wow. The white line. You stand in the middle of it. I'm colorblind today. You look all the way up, and there you see like a little gap in the wall, in the clouds. If you aim at the bottom of that, somewhere there, not smoke of course, and then you jump and throw as well. Fire in the hole! Maybe somewhat harder to see, but just where Rob is standing, the nade will land. You can always also do it with the smoke, as I just showed, but the nade will land right here. So if there's a scope camping hard left, he might be able to get taken down by this nade. And for the people who want to throw one back, which is easy to do at the start of the round, which is also the last nade spot, you stand in this line. You look at the ladder, and you look where the ladder intersects with the right antenna, which is this one. You intersect it, which is here, and you jump and throw. Fire in the hole! Those are the nade spots for radar. Of course, as you can see, there are quite a lot of camping spots, especially on two sides. So I can go up here and sit on the top of this small generator. But mostly you'll see people camp in the far end, near the back stairs. Or you can always jump on this ledge and then cover the base, which we'll show you later on. Before that, Robin has something in stock for us, I heard.
Oh yes, everyone knows that there is the famous musical instruments, which are called targets. And so the primarily purpose for this map in general is basically for aiming practices. But if you hit one, they make a note. And if you're good enough, you'll be able to play a song. So like this.
Oh yeah, I actually know that one. I forgot what it was. I believe it was a Christmas Carol or something.
It is a Christmas Carol, but yeah, and Zaytor apparently face-palmed it, so...
yeah, we just had to point it out.
But yeah, it is a fun thing to do if you're alone in a situation or you're just completely bored and want to bug your friends. Go ahead and play some songs on there. You can play Happy Birthday as well, which if you want, you can ask me and I'll show you later how to do it. But there it's quite an interesting instruments you can use to further make your gameplay much happier or whatever. Alright,
So, yeah.
Some other things I want to point out before we move on is that this map has quite a bit of things concerning the sites. For one thing, there are two sites, and one is easy to take, hard to defend, and the other is easy to defend, hard to take. Generally speaking, one, as we go over quickly, I think this was a bad idea since we were closer to two, but we'll go over one. Anyway, this is one of the sites that is hard to take, but easy to defend. Again, you can smoke that, the scope area and the connector. But, again, this is you can easily take this. I mean, it's kind of hard to take this in certain areas, because this has quite a bit of camping spots, and, people who tend to push it, you'll be able to take them down easily, and you'll be able to hear them very easily. So, if you can somehow take this one site as if you're I cannot speak today, I'm sorry. If you are the EU team, then you'll be able to defend it quite a bit easily. So
user joined your channel.
Again, make sure that you take over one
User left
if you
your
have
channel.
if you have the ability to, and you'll be able to defend it quite easily and just use your stalling techniques. For two, however, that is one of the easy to take, hard to defend. Again, as Miss showed earlier, there's a few nade spots to do, such as one over here.
Don't forget you can shoot through the fence.
And the fence is shootable. So if you feel somebody is camping there, you can easily make some shots and they go right through. So there aren't as many camping spots you can hit or you can stay at when you're trying to kill people. So if you try to take two, just keep in mind that it's really, really easy to take. But because if you're losing currently, then I'd suggest take two. Try to defend it as much as you can. And then as soon as you get about even rounds, I suggest going to one, or if you're actually winning, I suggest start going to one, so you'll be able to defend that quite easily.
Okay. Is there any other things we have to cover before we move on with the EU strats, Rob?
There is a point here where you can aim. If you stand on the ledge, you'll be able to aim down to the other side. It's a scoping site.
It's right here.
As Miss showing. You can see from the other people, so if they're gonna come rotate, then that's a good camping spot for snipers.
Keep in mind though that if people are coming from double doors, you won't be able to see them and they can still get you down. So make sure to have like a rifle covering you from about here so you won't get taken down. Any other things?
That about does it.
Alright, then we'll move on with the EU strats now, I guess. Let's just go to the base, although you will probably just respawn if I'm lazy. Well, actually, you're lazy.
Yes, I'm too lazy to run all the way there.
We actually haven't showed them how to get in the camping spot in base. So like, if you're bored and you don't want to make music, you just jump on the fence, and you can just easily get on these silos, or what they called?
Barrels.
Barrels, that's it. Silos are a lot bigger.
Again, please do not abuse this, as people will probably kick you out if you continuously stand there for hours on end.
Most likely.
Alright, EU strats. Alright, so one of the big things that you gotta remember is getting hold of mid. If you can get a hold of mid, then you're pretty much set. So the first thing you want to do is you want to get a scope and a rifle. You're going to have your rifleman, he's going to go ahead and throw a smoke down all the way through mid, so in case any scope decides to peek all the way down there, you won't be able to get hit by them. The scope is going to aim about where mid is standing, so in that general area, so if anybody decides to come out or peek out from there, they'll be able to get taken down. The rifleman is kind of the backup person to make sure that if the scope does get taken down, the rifleman can take down whoever took down the scope, etc. If need be, you can throw some nades all the way down, especially if you're a rifleman, because again, they have that added bonus range for nade throwing. So once you get about mid clear, you're both gonna move together, and you're gonna go ahead and move all the way up. Make sure you watch specific areas, as mid is showing, because those are really, really, really big camping spots. So once you make it about to this line, that's your stopping point, and you're gonna wait for your other team. Again, you can stand here too, but just in case you need to hide for cover. But then again, anybody who might be coming out from mid will be able to take you down, so just keep aware of that. Meanwhile, you're going to have your other team, your other three players, they're going to go ahead and move all the way up to the stairwell. The first thing they're going to do as soon as they make it up is smoke down all the way to whereabouts connector is, or even farther if you can. That way, there's almost always, let me assure you, 90% of a chance that there will be a scope standing here. So you want to make sure you smoke that area, you want to make sure you smoke the connector to one. And that way you'll be able to take in and push as needed. You can throw some nades in there to make sure, see if you can get anybody lit, so that way it'll be easier to take down. Once you do that, call your friends over, say, hey, we got it ready, so get ready to take it, and push together. You can throw a nade all the way at one side just in case anybody's there. Take one together. Make sure you get all your spots, all your corners, because there are quite a bit of camping spots in this area. Go ahead and set the bomb. Once you do that, It's very, very easy to defend it. You got the gen for cover. You got this big gen for cover. You can easily listen to anybody who's coming down because this area is quite open. So anybody you see coming down, you'll be able to take them down quite quickly because they will be out in the open. You have the sniper box for watching down all the way down long for one. And you can throw nades all the way out in mid, so anybody coming rushing through mid will be taken down quite a bit. So again, one is probably the choice if you are good at taking sites. So highly recommend if you're good at taking sites, and you'll be able to defend it very, very easily. Anything to add, Myth?
Yeah, it's really important to take it with full force. Defending it is easier to do. Make sure you always have at least one guy on the side. If you have like 2 or 3 guys, they can also play a little bit out, like on this corner, or they can actually move up to behind this box, on which they can just watch the connector and a bit of the double doors at base, and eventually fall back if needed to stall out the enemy even more.
Alright.
I guess that pretty much covers it. That means I have to run back again, and you will have to wait for me till we start the strats for 2.
And now that Myth is here, we will continue with...
Those don't make any music.
They do not, unfortunately.
Yeah.
They're the boring ones. Alright, so for 2, there is one really big key factor when going to 2 on radar. It is push the living crap out of you and your team all the way to pillar as fast as you possibly can. You can make sure you have at least one guy standing back throwing a nade all the way down to where the boxes might be. Smoke it out. Again, you're gonna have somebody camping about where I'm standing now, so make sure you take them down pre-fire there. There's also gonna be somebody hiding where Myth was pre-firing earlier. Again, there's not many spots though, other than those 2 spots that are really hard at defending. Again, you got this wall here is very wall bangable. Once you take 2 site, again, you're going to push this site as hard as you can, and keep in mind that there are spots in the back that can be taken. Like if somebody comes through mid, then you want to be sure that you have at least a few people watching in the back. So anybody that decides to come up here, then be taken down. You can use the pillar for cover, and then if you need to, you can fall back to base or all the way to site. Again, people like to come and flank as well, so again, you can use that for cover all the way down there. So if anybody decides to come out from here, you can use the pillar for cover and be able to take out anybody who's coming there. So that's a good spot. Again, if you get naded there or flashed there, then you're going to be quite in trouble, so just keep in mind of that. If you're going to camp on the stairwell, where Myth is standing, I guess on the sandbags that'd be the best thing. Also keep in mind that you can get naded quite easily there too, because there are a few nade spots that can hit there too. They're general, not really anything fancy, but just keep in mind you can get lit and people will know your identity. So also, again, you have the ledge you'll be able to use and look down connector, but keep in mind that you need to have somebody watch the double door, as Myth said earlier, because people come out from the double door. You can also hide behind this corner as well. Not recommended though, but if you feel like you have enough people, you can have somebody hide behind the corner, so as soon as they come out, they'll start shooting here. But then the person where Myth was standing will be taken down because the rifleman is watching that area as well.
Changing magazine.
So again, it's a little tricky to defend too. Again, I recommend going 1 a few times first, and then because again, it's a little harder to take. But if you can take it, then you'll be in a quite better position than you will be if you do take 2. If you decide to take 2. Just keep in mind, use cover as much as you can. Watch out for flash and nade spots. And use your, I guess, peak zones to your advantage. Use smokes to your advantage. And use your nade spots to your advantage as well. Anything to add, Myth?
I'm
That pretty much covers it. Indeed, when defending 2, you will most likely have a guy camping back at pillar room, camping around the pillar, and the other guys, while the scope can watch the base. If the scope is indeed watching the base, you want the rifle to be camping around the fence, so that the scope can't get taken down easily by a guy pushing base. So yeah, that pretty much covers it. I think we can move on with the giveaways. As I said earlier on, we have a different system for that, which is easier for you guys. I'll show that in a minute, but we'll move out first, and then we'll go on with the strats on NRF done by me.
The squad leader has changed.
Right, so here we are. The thing that we have to do for the giveaway now is easier. The only thing I have to do is to draw a winner from the people who are currently watching. The only rule that comes with it is the same rule as we had before. You have to follow the channel, which is the only rule that comes with the giveaway. And we'll draw a winner right now from the people who are watching. Let me draw one. There we go. We have a winner, and he is also following the channel. So I'll just PM the name to Rob, and he'll announce it on the stream.
Alright, so the first winner of the first giveaway, which was actually quite fast, so we'll be giving these quite quickly, goes to Hi-Main123 or Himani123, however you pronounce it. I apologize if I did mispronounce it, but Hi-Main123, congratulations for winning the first giveaway.
Well, it's not really that hard to mess up names tonight, is it? Well, at least not with this one. Alright, so I'll send you the PM right away with the key and of course the place where to redeem. Keep in mind that the keys expire within a week, so redeem them as soon as you can, preferably within 5 days. Alright, so in the meantime, before we move on, I'll give you the opportunity to let you guys ask us some questions about the EU strats and about the general things on radar if you have any. I'll put up some music in the meantime for that, and in about 2 or 3 minutes we'll move on with the NRF strats. But first we get the summer vibes running. Alright, so I have a question from Faquaris P. What's the difference between the puck to the stream? Well, the puck will be done later on the stream, which is the event, strats and tips. We'll just go over the maps, we'll go over some strats, nade spots, the map videos we're doing now, and afterwards we'll cast the puck, which apparently is an escape puck, although I heard it was 5-on-5 demo. Doesn't really matter too much. I'll probably start streaming the puck about 9 PM CET or 10 PM CET, just depends when the semifinals or finals are about to begin. And I'll cast it with iGorilla from Go Mayhem, same clan as I'm with at the moment. Let's see, Pacifist Mike is asking, did anyone feel the FPS boost of the last update? Yes, I did. I actually got like 40 or 50 extra FPS, so that's really good. It now caps at about 200 FPS, so that's good for me. How did that work out for you, Rob?
For me, it about the same. I still get around 190 FPS, but I do feel it does feel a little bit different positively. So, Computer-wise, I mean, hardware-wise, I guess, yeah, there is a little, there's a short little accelerated boost in my FPS. So,
Okay, then we
Mhm.
have one more question from CrownNag1. How to be a pro sniper? Well, as a sniper, you of course need to play with a lot of game sense, which we'll cover in another episode next week. Um, you have to also play quite aggressive and play passively. You need to know when to do so. You may need to make fast peaks. But you're basically the kill feed of the team. You have to get a lot of picks in the game. Scopes also usually play alone. Keep that in mind while playing good teams. And yeah, it's not smart to like full on push a scope, making a lot of noise. The best thing to do is to make a lot of fake peeks around the corner. Scope will shoot a bullet and most likely miss you unless you're facing a really good scope. And when you hear him shoot the bullet, you peek out and pre-fire the guy. But don't stay out too long. Scopes are able to shoot you down another time in about 1 to 1.5 seconds. So don't wait too long with pre-firing and don't pre-fire too long either. All get you down anyways. It's also really good to smoke out a scope, although that does not usually work since the name lights up in the scope's aim. Flashing works a little bit better in that case. But it's really important to know your scope, know what the scope can do. Some scopes have good move shot, some don't. For example, TPG has good move shot, where FRF2 does not have that great move shot. But of course, the FRF2 has really good no scoping if you duck, although the TPG's no scope is better. Um, in the overall, I'll prefer to use the FRF since it's faster, has 10 bullets, and is the nice to play for me, especially with quick scoping. But I also prefer to use the ASW in some games since that scope actually has the option to wallbang. Okay, so that was pretty an extensive review of scoping. Anything to add, Rob?
um, again, you pretty much covered every single bit I was about to say. Again, it's just really game sense. If you know whatever's coming or something, you need to play very you need to play anticipate a lot is what I'm trying to say. Is you want to anticipate a lot. If you know how to silent shot, use that to your advantage so you can pre-fire certain areas. So, as a few quick tips, we'll go over them more in later episode.
Let's see, can you leave me the room password in a message on Skype, by the way? Play some more music in the meantime. We're just arranging some things to do the NRF strats, and we'll go on with that in about a minute. So if you have more questions, just leave them in the chat. I'll answer them for you. If not, Rob will do so. Okay, so in the meantime, we actually had some questions which I did not see yet. How OP is the new 14 armor? Pacific's Mike is asking. Well, with the extra boost it has better absorption rate. I believe like a 33% extra absorption rate. If you have the full set, it also has increased walking ability, so you move around faster. It has better accuracy over the overall armor. As for Iyan, as you probably know, the gloves give you better accuracy in handling the gun, but for the SA-14 armor, it's even better. So, yeah, if you have the full set, it's probably the most OP armor in the game you can have, and you'll be able to tank a little bit more than with Iyan. How for you, Rob? See, Rob is B or B at the moment, so that means we'll move on with the next question. No worries. Faquaris is asking, why is there not box in capsule shop that you can buy with blue tickets? Well, that would more be a question for Rob, not for me. I have no idea how to answer that. As you of course know, after the last update, the last blue box, the train box, got removed from that. If we will get one in the future update, I don't know, but You don't hear me complaining. We have the St. Patrick's box for 1 red ticket, and well, I bought 3 and I got the Beerstein Nade Perm. So yeah, who's to blame? I like it. Yeah, plus 45% walking speed for F1 is indeed ridiculous with the SA14 armor. That's why it's banned in competitive scene as 1, it's AP only, and 2, it's just way too OP. Alright, I'll play some more music. If you have some other questions, let them come in. Alright, let's see. Yeah, that's not a question that I think we have to answer, so then we'll move on with the NR strats done by me. So here we go. Rob is also back in the meantime. Fakoris had a question why there are no boxes in the capsule shop anymore, which you can buy with blue tickets. Do you have any input on that, maybe?
No box with blue tickets? Well, again, it's up to the PM's decision on what type of weapons they'll be able to spend, what type of weapons that they can receive with the blue tickets in the box. So, if you can persuade the PM to give out blue ticket weapons, again, feel free to do so, and he might be able to.
That won't be easy though.
Yes.
Alright, let's move on with the one strat. If you're defending one side, it's important to have a couple of guys on the one side, while you also have a guy covering the connector. The best spot for that would be around this box, and you'll be able to watch the mid. And if people are trying to push up into one, you can watch the little box from the connector. In the meantime, the other guys are camping the one side already. You can choose to get a scope at the wooden boxes, but you can also decide to just have 2 guys camping the side. One guy at the right side of the gen, seen from NRF, and the other guy on the left side. For me, it's now left and right instead of right and left, but okay. So yeah, the other guy will stand just behind this little generator. The other guy stands left of the big generator. You'll be able to passively control the one side. What you can also do is push up once you smoked out the area. This is not too recommended though, since you most likely have some guys coming up to the stairs. You can do it, but it's not recommended, especially not if you're playing it in a serious game like a scrim, or even, well, in a 5v5 pug
ESL.
or whatever. Well, it's not an ESL, so I can't mention that. But if you're playing a serious game, you do not want to push there. In the meantime, that means you have 2 more guys left. One of the guys, of course, is going to do the mid nade. It's quite important if there's a guy peeking out at the wall. And the other guys will be covering the 2 side. What you can do for that is to play a bit passive. If you have a scope here, the scope can either watch from this little area. You can actually peek through it, make it very hard to get hit. If you're a skilled para player, you can sit there as well. Or the scope can sit more far at the back, watching a little bit of the ledge, or actually watch the right side of the pillar. And the other guy will be able to do the nade spot as we showed you before. Stand in line with this, stand in line with the ladder and the right antenna. Just throw the nade. Make sure to throw this nade as fast as you can. If people are pushing at the ramp, you'll be able to take him down right away. Of course, don't push up here. You most likely want to stay back either between the boxes hard left, or if the scope is watching the side, you can also stand here. You don't want to get in view, but if the scope calls out, you can peek out and pre-fire anyways. That's probably the best thing you can do. Or of course, if you still have a nade left, you just walk back and you use this to your advantage point and jump and throw. So you can also get a nade. Although this one was not that good. I believe you have to do it without jumping. We also did it a little bit different earlier on. You can use this advantage point or just this one. They both work. But this will be able... I have no idea how I did that. So yeah, just use the first nade and nade the pillar if need be to prevent any pushes. People will smoke this area out at the pillar room and the side quite frequently, so make sure to stay back, pre-fire a lot, and don't get the side taken. It is quite easy to take the side, but it is somewhat harder to retake it. So if it actually does get taken, the C4 gets set and the other guys have to confirm too. What are you gonna do? Well, you have one guy in the connector 1, so the best thing to do is, well, of course, you can first throw some nades at the back stairs, but you most likely want to smoke this right area, so that if there's a rifle standing at the right side, like hard left, he won't be able to take you down, but you can just shoot through the fence, shoot through this fence at the point as well, so you can take the guy behind the box down, and then push up, pre-firing a little bit more here, and getting on side. Don't push up too fast, since the scope may be camping pillar room or the other rifle may be there to stall you out. This is where the guy from connector 1 comes in, since the guy from connector 1 from up here is gonna jump down and make its way to connector 2. But yeah, of course, keep in mind that the guy may be camping at the pillar, so what you want to do, if you can of course throw a nade. But the best thing to do is like pre-fire a lot and essentially smoke if possible. You can smoke, camp out, push, pre-fire, and you can actually go stand behind the boxes, which will make it easier for you to take the guy down at the pillar, and then you can push up together and take the side, so that you have two sides you're coming in from. People won't be able to stall you out, and you can at least take the side without too much trouble and defuse the bomb. I think we messed some things up. Because this is the retake of 2 rather 1. But yeah, no problem. We'll go on with the 2 strat and then we'll do the retake of 1. A little bit out of order, but yeah, my bad. I'm not all there today, I think. Alright, so for a 2 defense, you want to have a scope watch the wall, or you can have him situated a little bit further back, or you can have a rifle at the double doors as well. Keep in mind that the fence is wall bangable, so stand around here, so you'll be able to watch people coming in from the connector as well, but you're vulnerable, so watch out with that. The guys who are defending the one side are going to play a little bit different this time, a little bit more aggressive actually. You're going to have a rifle stand right where I'm standing now, just in front of the fence from base, the DDs from base. Watch this little angle. You can actually use this gap in the wall to your advantage to throw like nades or smokes or anything. And the other guy, preferably a scope, is watching from the boxes, or you have a rifle situated here doing the nade spot as we showed before, and they will both push up if needed and my game closed. So yeah, this episode is not going that well as expected. I'll go and we'll move on with the strats, my bad. Although I can't do that much about it this time. Did I miss anything in the meantime, Rob?
Again, if you want to play aggressively, going to 1, because if you're they defending 2, mostly because you know that there's going to be very few amount of people coming to 1 if you have a split. So then you'll be able to take down anybody who's coming up to 1. and that way they'll have a few amount of players left. So again, if you have about, I think it was 2 players that you said were going to 1 and playing
Yeah.
aggressively. That way, and usually if they're going to, they're not really gonna have anybody that's gonna come up to 1. So keep in mind of that. But usually they might have 1 or 2 players do a fake. In that case, you'll be able to take them down. And once you see that nobody's there, that's when you can retake 2, which he showed earlier.
Let's see if I can get on in the meantime. Should be able to get on there. Shouldn't take too long, and then we'll move on with the NRF strats. Well, for retaking 1 and also for defending the 2 side. Let's see, I'm back on already.
Something Ahmad mentioned, passive playing. That happens when you are going to 2. If you're gonna defend 2, I strongly, highly, 100% recommend you play as passively as you possibly can. Again, that is a very hard site to defend. So if you can, try to play passively, camp as much as you can. You may need to be a little bit patient, which can disturb some people. Like I'm very an impatient player, and I'm also a primary scope. So I play very aggressively as a scope normally should not do. So but I do get lucky sometimes. But in this map, you really have to play passively if you're going to go ahead and take 2. And we now have Myth joining us.
Yeah, I'm in, but also not. I have no idea what my PC is doing, but it's fairly annoying. I can hear you walk, but I can't see you.
Probably need to restart.
No, let me just get everything back. I can shoot bullets. There we go, I'm finally back. Okay, so we're now gonna move on with the defending of 2. As I showed you before I got kicked out of the game, 1 guy is gonna sit in this little corner while the scope is gonna watch from the boxes, the wooden boxes here. Make sure to make use of your nades, and you can also nade it to the pillar if you want. And if you don't have a scope here, you can always have the rifle situated about here, doing the nade spot and just camping around this corner, but don't peek out, stay a little back, and don't let the guys take the 1 side. In the meantime, quite in contrary with what Rob was saying, I actually chose to do a quite aggressive strat for 2. As I said, you have 1 rifle watching the DD from this angle, so you can also watch the connector 1. And the remaining 2, well, you have 2 options to do here. You either have 2 rifles, 1 is gonna do this nade real fast, and then they're gonna take the pillar room actually really fast and just wait around the pillar and try to hold the pillar room. It is quite a risky strat, but if you have the pillar room, you're already pre-firing, people will most likely not push you, and you'll be able to smoke it out, actually nade if you have some left, even flash if you want, and 1 guy can just move on to the other side of the pillar room. So that means it will be very hard to take, and you've pretty much secured a defense for 2 side. This is quite risky, so yeah, don't use it all the time, but it can work. And if you have a scope at the 2 side and you want to play passively, you're basically going to do the same as for defending at 1. You have the scope at the back of the 2 side, but you can also move up to the base, of course, as we showed you. And the rifle is more going to stand down right in this corner. It won't be visible to anyone, but if he hears the scope calling out, hey, there are guys at the pillar, peek out, get them, you can just peek out and pre-fire them also from this little gap, making it even harder for you to get taken down. Okay, so we covered the retaking of 2 side. Let's now do the retaking of the 1 side. Well, most people are actually going to come in from the base. What you want to do then is to smoke the right side and pre-fire out a little bit, but as you can see, it's quite hard to smoke it out. You have to throw the smoke fairly low. Otherwise, you won't be able to smoke it out perfectly fine, but still quite easy for a scope if he's waiting there to get you out. So it's best to push simultaneously. Or, which you can also do, maybe even a better option, is to go through the little alley here. One guy's gonna do the nade spot. And then you're just able to smoke out this area. And can just move in. One guy can actually go over the boxes and then push in. Or the guy, one of the guys can just go to the right side of the gen, while the other guy goes to the left side of the gen. Push in together, pre-fire a lot, and retake that one side. So I guess that pretty much covers it. Anything to add, Rob?
I do. If you are going to use your smoke nades, again, this is a very smoke nade based map. Make sure you have your main player UAVing quite a bit. I know it's a very cheeky move, but if you can use your UAV to your advantage, I definitely suggest doing that, because this is a heavily smoked area. Also, there at if we're gonna do something really quick at 2.
All right, I'm coming.
Generally, when you are pushing all the way down to pillar room, right about this area, you generally want to have a pointsman. Actually, and there's a few reasons that a pointman is very good. One thing, he can run fast, obviously, but he can also hit a lot of people in short range and kill them quite easily. But another thing too is they have quite a number of smoke nades that they'll be able to use to their advantage. So again, they can be able to equip up to 6. Most likely they'll have 2, but they'll be able to smoke out the pillar room. So anybody pushing, they're gonna be quite blinded and won't be able to see where to go, and have no idea where the enemies are hiding. So again, if you're planning on going to cover 2, I highly suggest get a point man to smoke out this whole area. And so everyone who's pushing will be confused and they have no idea where to go. They'll do a few milliseconds of panic, but that few milliseconds can be equated to an actual win of the round.
Alright, well I think in the meantime that Guerrilla already tuned in, if I'm correct? Or not?
Definitely correct.
I'm correct. Well, as you heard, Guerrilla is gonna close the pug with me later on, but also join the in-game event that me and Robin are hosting. So we have some more talking going on here about the map radar, which will make it somewhat more entertaining for you guys as well. In the meantime, Rob, was that all? Do you have anything else to add?
No, that was all.
Okay, then we'll go out of the game. We'll move on with the second giveaway of tonight, and then we'll go to the in-game event with me, Rob, and Guerrilla.